And as the world watches our new economic challenges, an essay in a prominent British paper is getting a lot of attention today. It is pointing out that while America emerged from the Great Depression as an economic powerhouse, there's a lot of reasons why this country may never be able to do that again. Joining us to talk about this, what could be more serious than this topic, joined by Mike Gallagher, radio talk show host and Fox News contributor, and Chip Merlin, who is an attorney. Welcome, both of you. Good to have you here today.
Hi, Martha.
You know, the thing that fascinates me in this piece in The Guardian, they outline what the circumstances were before the fall of Rome. And I just want to list a few of them for folks at home to just take this in. So here's what was going on in Rome when it was in decline. Military overstretch, a gulf between rich and poor, debt, people living in debt beyond their means, crime, obesity, addiction to pornography, you know, maybe some reference to some of the things we've been talking about in the news the past couple of days, and excessive use of energy. Mike, is there a parallel?
Well, I think there is. I mean, these are the concerns that Americans are expressing right now, and the world is watching us. You know, the world is seeing what's happening, and even people who have been loyal to the direction, the leaders of this country over the last couple of years are starting to question the direction of this country in a very profound way. I had lunch with a Democrat friend of mine today. Even he was stunned that President Obama literally said that he's not really concerned about any kind of our economic future in peril. We can't panic. We've got to not react. Listen, we're in dire straits here. On Sunday, the president's economic advisor makes the rounds and says everything's not so bad, and then he resigns the next day. Austin Goolsbee out yesterday. So right. I think the Guardian's piece was a great reflection of where we are as a country and the concerns we have as a civilization going forward. And you know, Chip, you look at some of these the polls that we showed today. You know, 89% have a negative feeling about the U.S. economy. I've never seen numbers like that in my lifetime. And there is an underlying feeling that there's an unsettled feeling in this country that we may never get back to where we were. What do you think?
Well, it's natural to have that after you have a banking collapse that we just went through, and people weren't real happy in the Depression areas of the 1930s and 40s, and we only came out as an economic superpower at the end of World War II. It is a bad bet to bet against the United States of America. We've had these panics historically, and they've all gone away. It's not wrong to criticize and be concerned about them, but for people to give up is something that's been going on for a long period of time. We can expect that there will always be economic calamity, and that this country has always pulled itself through. I agree with Warren Buffett. Betting against the United States is a bad economic bet.
You know what? Every one of us wants to say that, because we are all Americans, and it's an incredibly optimistic society. America is exceptional in so many ways, and we want to stay that way. The question is, when you look at sort of, you know, the debauchery and the 1 in 6 people on food stamps and all of the sort of decaying issues, it really feels like it's going to take a major shift, a major wake-up, a major realization to get us back to who we are.
And I like Chip's spirit. I agree.
Go ahead, Mike.
I totally, okay, go ahead. I totally agree with Chip's spirit, but I do think it's going to take a sea change from a political perspective in our leadership in Washington and in states all around throughout the country. I mean, the direction of the country is the wrong-headed direction right now, and until we replace people who are willing to continue to spend, and listen, in the past, that's been Republicans too. This isn't necessarily a left-right argument, but until we replace the direction, we got leadership in this country that reminds us of the Ronald Reagan era and the shining city on the hill. We're going to be fine. I think right now we're in a quagmire of leadership that is truly
Let me ask Chip something. Chip, what do you think about President Obama in terms of his ability to inspire that kind of, you know, rebirth in the country and the kind of, you know, dramatic reevaluation that I think a lot of people believe that they're looking for in terms of leadership, searching for?
Well, certainly our leader has got to communicate and be very transparent and honest with the Americans about where our economy is, where we're headed to, and how we're going to get there. That is the absolute role of a leader.
Do you think that's happening?
And Ronald Reagan did it great.
So
he went through people forget about 1982, how bad inflation was at the time, and he took us through that era and then got reelected, but he was a great communicator about it. What President Obama has got to do, if he's to maintain his position as President of the United States, is come across like Ronald Reagan did 20 years ago.
You know, we've heard on certain vacations that he was reading Reagan biographies and things like that. Chip, I want to end with you. You know, do you see an indication? Do you think the president is disconnected from the issue that we're discussing right now, or is he really, you know, at his heart connected to it? Last thought.
I don't think he can't be disconnected from this. He's getting all kinds of advice, and one of the best advice is not to panic nor overreact with respect to the situation. We went through the worst financial calamity, a true banking failure that was only brought out through a bailout. Had we not had that bailout, God knows where we'd be right now. This slow growth economy is not what we're used to.
But hopefully you're right. Hopefully it did work, and hopefully we are, you know, on the way back as a nation. We all can be completely on the same page on that. Chip and Mike, thank you very much. Good to talk to you guys.
Okay, Mark.